young boy, looked to be about 20 years old, was next to me. He was shot in the head from a close distance and fell right there.
I saw with my own eyes a young man who had been shot in the chest. People were gathered around him trying to help and take him away. We inhaled a lot of tear gas and smoke.
JFK famously said, "We can only secure peace by preparing for war." The world has changed a lot in the past 60 years, but the Trump administration still may be betting on that strategy, even as the U.S. military bolsters assets in the Persian Gulf and conducts extensive show-of-force exercises. The president is once again making it clear he's ready for diplomacy with Iran. He wrote on Truth Social today, hopefully Iran will quickly come to the table and negotiate a fair and equitable deal. No nuclear weapons, one that is good for all parties. Time is running out is truly of the essence. Next attack will be far worse. Don't make that happen again. General Philip Breedlove, retired four-star general in the Air Force, former Supreme Allied Commander of NATO, is with us. General, as you look at the battlefield right now and what has been moved now into the Middle East, President Trump says it's an armada larger than that off of Venezuela. How long till the military is ready for not only a strike, but a prolonged campaign?
Well, good to be on with you again, Leland. And I think they're ready now. Certainly they are ready for a strike. As far as a prolonged campaign, again, it's really a measure of what we want to talk about, how prolonged. But as you know, the carrier battle group brings a lot of striking power, and especially the onboard cruise missiles of the submarines and other shooters are very, very important. But they don't last forever. And the ground-based air, which has been exercising this week, provides that heavy-duty sustainment, as well as all the air-to-air tanking, airlift, and other things needed for a long campaign.
So a lot to, take apart there. When you said sort of how prolonged, that depends on what the mission is. Secretary Rubio spoke to that a little bit. Take a listen.
I don't think anyone can give you a simple answer as to what happens next in Iran if the supreme leader and the regime were to fall, other than the hope that there would be some ability to have somebody within their systems that you could work towards a similar transition. I would imagine it would be even far more complex than the one we're describing now, because you're talking about a regime that's in place for a very long time. So that's going to require a lot of careful thinking if that eventuality ever presents itself.
We can all agree that the world would be a safer, better, more just place if the Ayatollah and his henchmen met their maker in hell rather than in heaven, most likely. The question, though, is this. Can you exact regime change? You can kill people from the air. Can you exact regime change from the air?
Well, it's hard. I believe it can be done, but it's not just about taking out the leadership. It's about taking out the assets that keep the leadership in power. The IRGC and those fanatical forces that are wrapped around that Islamic regime, that is a big target. And really, we're sort of in the middle of changing the mission a little bit, aren't we? To begin with, it was all about stop the killing. And now the president is talking about the nuclear program. So we need to understand where our administration is going with this campaign. Are we still trying to stop the murder in the streets, or has this shifted into addressing the future nuclear capability of Iran?
And that's a great point, because list of demands to Iran, permanent end to all uranium enrichment, limits on ballistic missiles, end support for Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis, that doesn't talk at all about ending the slaughter in the streets, ending the torture in the prisons, and the release of these people who have been held and beaten. Certainly doesn't talk about justice for those who have been executed and pulled out of hospitals and shot in the back of the head. And it doesn't talk about stopping the abuse and the subjugation of women that exists every day in Iran. What's the point of a deal if it doesn't do those things?
Well, I can't answer for our administration. We would have said in the past, this sounds like mission creep, but it's really not mission creep because it's almost a complete reversal of the mission. The mission originally was about protecting the Christians and the people of Iran in the streets. And now we are talking about much more about the military and strategic capabilities of Iran and holding them at risk. This might be the calculation by our administration that says in order to flip the regime, we have to take away these tools which they see as their power.
Well, or their protection. General, as always, I could talk to you for hours. Unfortunately, we got to run, but we appreciate it, sir. It's good to see you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.